Sixers Nation, we're in the home stretch. It's almost over. The NBA offseason is coming to a close, and the Sixers, by the time this video comes out, their training camp is going to start in 27 days. We're almost there. We just got to hang it out. We'll have Sixers basketball before we know it. But in the meantime, I'm going to give my official prediction as to what the Sixers' record will be at the end of the 2025 NBA season. I'm going to look at what they have accomplished in the prior years and compare it to this roster, compare it to all the other rosters throughout the Joel Embiid era to get a more clear picture of where they could end up by the season's end. So stay tuned. But before we get down to business, like and subscribe on this video. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. If you don't know who I am, I'm NZ, and I love talking hoops. I love talking about the Sixers, and I'm chronically addicted to this basketball franchise. So please help your boy out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. But with that out of the way, let's talk about things. So when I was thinking about where the Sixers can be at the end of the 2025 season, I immediately thought of Joel Embiid's injury history and how that actually has impacted the Sixers throughout the past 6 years or so. Embiid is obviously our best player, and when he goes down, things go down the toilet. We noticed that last year we went 16-27 without him. I don't really need to throw you any numbers. You could just watch the game and notice that the Sixers are a way worse team without Embiid playing. We all know that, but we just all know it's a sad reality that Embiid, he's going to low manage and possibly get injured and miss time. But, to take that in as a factor, you need to look at what Embiid's injuries have actually done to the Sixers over the past 6 years or so. It's not very good, but throughout, all of these margins, we can really look at a pattern and see if Embiid, gets injured or whatever. We can make a hypothetical and see how that will impact the Sixers with this specific roster going into next season. Two things that you would notice by looking at my fantastic graphic is that only 2 seasons have the Sixers had a winning record with Embiid not playing. 2018 with Ben Simmons and Ersan Ilyasova going on that crazy run. Then you had 2023 where we went 11-5. And for that season, it was just a lot of good timing. We weren't really playing good teams, and when Embiid wasn't playing, we weren't playing. We were just beating up on bad teams. So it's all about timing, really. But in 2023, it was the most winningest season of Embiid's career up to this point, and he only missed 16 games. You notice in 2019, he only missed 18 games, 51-31 record. 2022, 14 games missed, 51-31 record. For the seasons where Joel Embiid missed below 20 games, we tended to break that 50-win barrier. And that's an important benchmark because the rest of the Eastern Conference is stacked. You have the Boston Celtics, you have the Knicks, you have the Bucks, but you also have these other teams like the Cavaliers and the Magic and the Heat and the Pacers, teams scraping for playoff positioning, and they're not easy matchups to say the least. So the Sixers, they need to make the most out of the time that Embiid isn't playing. It's just that we do a lot of losing when Embiid's not playing. And for the seasons where he's missing over 20 games, such as this 2021 season, we noticed that they barely, or they didn't even reach 50 wins at all. And granted, that was the season where we played 72 games. So if there were more games in the season, we would have probably gotten over 50 wins. But he still missed 21 games, and we still had a losing record without him. So it's not really a good look either way. So just take it for what it is. But my main point is that Embiid, we talk about how Embiid's injury history impacts the Sixers winning, but how many games does he usually actually miss to where it really tips the scale regarding our playoff season? And that number seems to be 20. And 20 games, that's important because we have 15 back-to-backs this season. So we have 30 games in total of those back-to-backs. And Joel Embiid doesn't necessarily play back-to-backs all the time. So we might already miss 15 games regardless of any injury. And that stinks. But, just looking at the record here, we notice that with Joel Embiid and all of the injuries he's racked up over the years, that, our record tends to just slip a lot when he's not playing. So it's all about whether the Sixers are able to stay afloat and win at the right times throughout the season to, bolster their record. Because if Embiid gets to play a lot of games this season, that's cool. We're probably going to have an extremely good record. But it's all about the playoffs at this point, and it's all about preserving Joel Embiid for him being healthy when it comes to spring. And if the team's able to do that, then awesome. But you have to rest him on those back-to-backs. So at worst, he's probably going to already miss 15 games. So there are two paths presented to Nick Nurse and how he's going to approach Joel Embiid's playing time this year. Is he going to prioritize that tactical advantage come playoff time? Because as much as we like to rag on the regular season, how it doesn't matter and that, it all matters on what we do in the spring. And to an extent, I agree with that because the Sixers, they need to get things done. But in the regular season, you're setting yourself up for a pretty good positioning in the playoffs by getting home court advantage and by possibly giving yourself some more favorable matchups. And if the Sixers are able to grab as many advantages as they can throughout the season, given all the uncertainty and all the things that can go wrong for every team, just seems like, the Sixers have been one of the more least fortuitous teams throughout the past couple of years or so they can just take all the advantages they want. Or is Embiid, Nick Nurse, is he just going to be more frugal with Embiid's time? I haven't really noticed that last year. He has definitely been more inclined to just play Embiid, see what happens, and, if we're dominating teams, yeah, he can rest the entire fourth quarter, but in terms of like back-to-backs and all of that, he's definitely just going to play him. He's going to utilize him as much as he can, and so, yeah, it is definitely something that they're going to have to address throughout the season. With all things considered, what is my record prediction for the Sixers this year? It's about time I reveal it. By the end of the 2025 NBA season, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to go 58-24. The Sixers have assembled by far the most talented and well-constructed roster of Joel Embiid's entire career, to the point where I firmly believe that in Embiid's absence, they are able to survive without him more so than ever before. Not compete. If Joel Embiid's injured, the Sixers probably aren't going to be being the best teams in the NBA, but they will be able to survive without him. There are stretches where the Sixers are going to be playing really tough teams consecutively, such as in January. Every year, the Sixers are so go on this gauntlet where they play the best teams in the NBA. For example, in January, they're going to be playing the Pelicans, the Magic, the Thunder, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Bucks, the Nuggets twice, the Cavaliers, the Lakers, the Kings, the Celtics, the Mavericks, the Heat, and the Bulls, but they're the Bulls. 10 of those games are at home, though, so that's good. But if Embiid gets injured during that stretch, then maybe the record will slip a bit, but it's all about timing at the end of the day. I think a lot has to go right for your team to win over 60 games, and just leaving that uncertainty with Embiid and Paul George's injury history, I believe that 58 wins is the right spot, and you also have to, take into consideration Nick Nurse's, greater leniency to let Embiid play and stuff, so, we can dominate teams early and just sit him for the rest of the fourth quarter, and if he goes to, play those back-to-backs, like at worst, he's going to be missing all those back-to-backs, all those games or whatever, but the more games Embiid gets to play, then the more the Sixers are most likely going to be winning a bunch of games, but 58-24, that is my record for the Sixers this season. But that's enough out of me. I got to hear what you guys think about the Sixers' record this upcoming season. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section. I'm excited to hear what everyone has to say. But with all that said and done, that's all I got. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, peace. Music.